Just a few days ago, Gaijin released their early summer War Thunder update, titled Red Skies. As you would expect, it added a lot of new vehicles to the game, but Red Skies also added a lot of new mechanics and quality of life changes. So the question is, did the update improve War Thunder overall, or did it drag down the experience? I've been pretty negative towards War Thunder updates in the past, though I was a bit more positive towards the last one. I think this update is sort of in the same boat. Overall, I'm kinda split, but I wouldn't say there's anything extremely egregious. Before we get into that though, I'm gonna take a second to talk about my sponsor. I partner with Apex Gaming to make a line of pre-built gaming PCs, so if you're looking to upgrade, you should check it out. You can use my username as a discount code on checkout. Link is in the description and comments. First, let's start with the positives that Red Skies brought to the table. Likely the pro with the biggest impact would be the introduction of 11.0 as the max BR. It's nice to finally see some BR decompression, even if it is in baby steps. There definitely needs to be a lot more expansion in that regard, possibly up to 11.7, but it would take a lot of time to readjust everything. I can say that it definitely makes playing 9.7 a lot more bearable. One thing that really came out of left field, and something a lot of people still don't know about, are the changes that Gaijin made to volumetric shells. Remember when I made a video talking about why I didn't like volumetric? And one of the issues I pointed to was when two plates join in double the effective thickness? Gaijin apparently fixed that. I've mostly been playing top tier, so I haven't really been using a lot of shells where that scenario would be likely to happen, but in the few low tier matches I did play, it was totally absent. They also apparently fixed an issue where large shells would penetrate the wrong plate, but I can't say I ever noticed that in game. While the introduction of 11.0 probably has the most widespread impact, the change I like the most relates to how tracked vehicles handle. It used to be that whenever you turn in a tracked vehicle, you would lose like half your speed instantly. This is mostly because War Thunder doesn't simulate stuff like regenerative steering. Now tanks retain a lot more energy when they turn, usually only losing a couple kilometers per hour making adjustments. That was one of my biggest pet peeves in War Thunder, so it's great that it finally got fixed. And for the new map, Red Desert, I'm glad it isn't based off of real world location. Previous War Thunder maps have largely been based off of actual places, so they don't typically flow very well. A lot of people, myself included, have complained about this for a while, so it's nice to see a map that's more gameplay oriented. I am a bit torn since the map is pretty large and disjointed, but I do think it's a step in the right direction. I'll probably warm up to it. Now onto the aspects that are either neutral or negative. For the new commander sight mechanic, it honestly just seems kinda useless. There wasn't any scenario where the CITV gave me a better view than the gunner sight, and with the gunner sight, I would be able to fire accurately and immediately. Not being able to use thermals with binoculars is kind of annoying, especially when in night battles. In realistic, it seems like more of a detriment than anything, but I don't think the effect is big enough to call it an outright negative. I kinda feel the same way about duplicate gunner controls. They don't usually do anything, since most shots that kill the gunner will also damage the gun breech, but if the shot doesn't damage the gun breech, then it's just annoying. Maybe it's just something that will take time to get used to, I don't know. It is yet another mechanic that'll make balancing vehicles more complicated. Some of the new vehicles are good, others aren't. It's good that Russia got a 2A6 equivalent, and even better that China finally got some radar anti-air, but in the case of the former it does present some problems. Whenever Gaijin adds a unique tank solo, it always throws balance out of whack. Not because of the vehicle itself, but because all the experienced players flock to that one nation in order to play it. It was seen with the ADATs, the T-72B3, and the Leopard 2A6, though the 2A6 was also just overpowered by itself. Now it's happening again with the T-80 BVM. The BVM is pretty good, but it's far from overpowered. Yet my win rate is 100%. When releasing a new top tier vehicle, it should be released with at least one counterpart in another tech tree. Though with how content pipelines work, I imagine this would be difficult. The auto range mechanic also has me split. It does make things a bit easier for new players, but it also makes ranged combat trivial. I think this is due to the fact that it'll range the exact distance, not the rounded distance that the rangefinder displays. I think if it's set to the rounded distance, it would probably be a lot more balanced, since the round wouldn't go exactly where you want. As it usually happens with updates, a lot of stuff was broken as well. Pressure damage caught it the worst. It seems like the damage radius was extended massively, to the point that the bomber shell landing nowhere close to you will still kill you. APFSDS also seems like it does less damage, though this may be related to armor changes. I think this update definitely brings more good to the table than bad, so it's a breath of fresh air. As per usual, there are things that can be improved or fixed, but I don't think they're as bad as past updates. Bombs are incredibly broken right now, but at least the game isn't crashing constantly. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one.